What's up, world? Welcome back to Cancel Thoughts. It's your boy Better Days here. I was at the grocery store very recently, and one of the weird things that I noticed as I was walking down the aisles was that all of the price tags in the store had changed from the paper labels that I was used to and accustomed to and really kind of grown fond of, had changed to digital labels. And obviously, I don't care that much about like the labels or whatever, but I want to talk about the implications of this because I don't necessarily think it's a good thing. So today I got a video from about a couple of weeks ago talking about how Walmart is rolling it out in all of their grocery stores really quickly. So I want to show it to you. Before I get into it though, guys, if I by the end of this video earn you guys a subscription, do me a solid and like the video and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a couple of seconds and it helps out more than you guys realize. That being said, let's get right into it.
2 days. That's how long it used to take employees to change paper price labels on the 120,000 items in a typical Walmart store. With digital tags, it takes minutes.
It really allows retailers to change prices by store, by region immediately.
The world's largest retailer is switching to electronic shelf labels, known as ESLs, at all its U.S. stores later this year. The biggest grocery retailers in Canada have also dabbled in digital labels, with Sobeys on track to switch to ESLs this year. The savings on labor costs are obvious, but consumer groups worry about the potential for algorithmic and targeted pricing made possible by digital price tags and AI.
One of the big issues that I have with a lot of this stuff is these companies will come out and they'll try to make it seem like they're doing this for you guys' benefit or they're doing it for us, the consumers, to just make it an easier experience for us. But that's horseshit.
Period.
That's just complete and utter horseshit, okay? What they said there, which is that, oh, it used to take like an employee this long to like switch out all of the physical labels or whatever. That's true. And they make it seem like, oh, now the employee isn't going to have to do all of that. No, what it really means is they're not going to have an employee that has to do that in the first place. So they're basically adding to their bottom line by getting rid of somebody whose job it was to, in part, at the very least, replace all of those labels. So they're not doing this for you whatsoever, okay? One of the things that I know for a fact is whenever somebody comes to me, and you guys need to start paying attention to this as well. If somebody ever comes to you and goes, hey, we want to come and help you, we noticed that you have this problem and we just want to help you solve it in a way.
That is false.
That person is not there to help you, okay? They are not there to help you at all, especially if it's a problem that you didn't necessarily ask to be solved. When all of these people come out with this, oh, AI, and we're going to be doing this, and it's going to be really, really beneficial for you, it's not going to be beneficial for you, okay? You should literally hear the opposite of that if anybody ever comes to you and says that, okay? When they're talking about, oh, this is going to make our companies more efficient and our grocery stores, it's going to just improve the consumer experience. It's not. It's not at all, okay? They're just going to be digitally gypping you or whatever. And I think Walmart has been exposed very recently because I remember doing a video about this actually. They've been exposed for essentially overcharging on meat that wasn't actually like the recorded weight or whatever of what they were putting on the labels, but they were charging you for the weight that was on the label. So if you start noticing like a pattern of that in companies like Walmart, who no doubt know that they're actually like being fraudulent essentially with their meat, what do you think they're going to do when they start having the ability to just switch their price tags at the drop of a hat? Like, come on, let's really think about this.
These types of algorithms are already used in the travel industry.
If you buy an airline ticket very early, it's usually cheaper. And as it gets closer and closer to sold out, it will get more and more expensive.
Another concern is surge pricing, used by services like Uber, where prices are set based on real-time supply and demand.
People need coffee more in the morning, so should they charge 20% more?
Though proponents say ESLs could help reduce mistakes on the cost of items and present more deals, similar to what's already available in other industries.
Happy hour at restaurants, where if you go early, you get a deal.
But AI technology can enable targeted pricing. In December, Instacart found itself in hot water in the U.S. over what critics called predatory grocery pricing, pushing up costs on certain items for some customers.
What scares people is the fact that based on their demographics and personal information footprint, that they're going to pay more than other people based on that.
Experts Global News spoke to say backlash against Canadian companies that misuse ESL technology would be swift.
Could you imagine going to a grocery store, picking up an item, and by the time you get to the front checkout to scan your item, the price of that item has changed. Yo, I could not imagine how completely and utterly pissed I would be if that was something that would have happened to me, because I would just literally put down the item and walk out of the store, okay? I know a lot of people like wouldn't think that, and a lot of people wouldn't actually react that way, and that's partly one of the reasons why they do the things that they do at some of these companies or whatever, is because people tolerate it. But I couldn't imagine how upset I would be if something like that were to happen, okay? And again, they're telling you, oh, it's going to offer more deals. No, it's not. It may in the short term, and it may just like for them to get it in the door. But after like a year, 2 years or so, you'll just start noticing your stuff getting a lot more expensive, and you won't really know why. And it'll be because of this stuff that they ushered in a few years prior that we really didn't necessarily pay attention to, okay? And one of the big things that I've kind of noticed and I've started trying to advocate for in my personal life as well is we need to start voting with our wallets, okay? The only way that these companies will get the message from us is we stop buying their products, we stop shopping at their stores or whatever, okay? They will not listen to people complaining on the internet. They will not listen to you guys just like being like, oh, we don't necessarily like this and we don't see how it's going to benefit us. They don't give a fuck. If you continue to buy their products and go to their stores and shop there, they're just going to continue to do whatever the hell they want, and it's not going to be in your benefit as a consumer, okay? We need to start doing things that actually affect their bottom line, and that is the only way these companies are going to learn.
I don't think you'll see the big grocers using it in Canada. I just think that they're too smart. They realize that consumers would be very angry.
But Canada's regulators are often spurred to action by complaints, and ESL technology is still in its infancy.
Yeah, they probably won't do it in Canada, but they're already doing it here in America. One of the big things that I've noticed as well is that there is a major issue in American society where a very small number of people basically owns everything, okay? So when you look at stuff like digital price tags and you ask yourself, whose idea is this? Like, what's going on here? It's a very small number of people who are deciding, hey, we're going to start putting these digital price tags in every single one of our grocery stores. And the only reason I even know this myself is because I noticed these digital labels or whatever when I went to the grocery store. And then I started doing some research when I went home and I went, oh, Mariano's is owned by Kroger. And Kroger owns all of these other grocery brands and all of these different like franchises. And I'm just like,
wait a second.
That just means they're going to be rolling out these digital price tags at all of their grocery stores, and people are going to essentially be powerless to do it. And that's a problem that I don't think gets talked about nearly enough in America, is just the lack of ownership that the overall majority of people in America have. And the fact that we're seeing all of these like pernicious effects in society, it's all coming from the same small number of people who are screwing us all. Okay, I want people to really, really like key in on that point, because they are going to continue doing this unless we put our foot down and just start going, nah, we're not shopping here anymore. And it's really going to be at every grocery store unless one or two grocery stores go, yeah, we're not going to do that. We don't necessarily see the value in that, and we want to actually be a trustworthy company for our consumers. Outside of that, the rest of these people, they're just going to look at you guys as patsies or whatever, and they're going to try to step on you, and they're going to try to raise their prices every single chance they get, every opportunity, even if it's by a couple of cents. Because if you guys think about it, if you raise the price of, let's call it one item by a few cents, okay, on a population scale, that is potentially millions and millions of dollars that you've just generated by raising it by a couple of cents if many people buy that exact product. I really don't want to like make too much of a big stink about this, but this is going to be something that's going to be a very, very huge issue for our society going down the line if we don't necessarily start talking about this and putting a stop to it as soon as possible. But I'm going to leave it there, guys. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys thought about this. And just as an aside as well, one of the things that I've noticed in particular when it comes to the SNAP benefits and stuff, I understand the value of them, and I know this is coming out of left field or whatever, but I understand the value of, hey, having a social safety net for people who are down on their luck. But one of the things it also does is it artificially inflates the price of groceries, okay? One of the things that I noticed in America in particular is when the EBT and the SNAP or whatever benefits were like, I think they were discontinued by the government for like a month or so, I noticed the price of groceries at my local grocery stores drop precipitously just in that 1 month. Like, I'm not kidding whatsoever, okay? And then when the EBT came back and the SNAP benefits and stuff came back, the prices went right back up. And I was just like, yo, these are the reasons why we're overpaying for a lot of this stuff. I'm not saying these social safety net programs shouldn't exist, but damn, bro, we need to understand that they're not always there to help us. But I'm going to leave it there, guys. As always, I want to thank you guys for joining me on this video. You guys could have been anywhere else in the world, but you chose to be here with me, and I really do appreciate you.
If you liked what you heard today, do me a solid and like the video, share the video, and subscribe if you haven't already. Those things really do help out the channel a lot, guys. And if you didn't like what you heard, thanks for allowing me to occupy your time. Consider leaving a comment in the comments down below, letting me know exactly what it was that you disagreed with, and maybe we could talk about it. Either way, I appreciate each and every one of you guys for pressing play on this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.